说，英国人真的会跟我们大清决战吗？
这小的不知。
News of the deteriorating situation in Guangzhou. Lives and properties of British citizens being threatened. British commercial chambers have formed themselves into a powerful lobby to exert pressure from all directions upon the government for military interference.
Merchants are interested only in money. Far more important than that, the Chinese do not treat us with equality and fairness. We shall not let them insult the dignity and the honor of Her Majesty the Queen.
He hasn't mentioned the subject of opium.
Yes, the government is not involved in the opium trade. That is a free trade conducted by private business.
Gentlemen, I take pride in informing you that some wise men have been engaged for some time in preparing maps of China ever since Macaulay's visit there. Here, on the table, we have a map which shows all the rivers, all the harbours, all the fortifications. A map much more accurate than anything they have in their imperial palace. As for the Chinese Marine Force, it's a fleet of fishing boats, if anything.
A priest convinced us yesterday that one British warship could sink 10 Chinese warships.
Do you believe what he says?
No, I do not. I believe one British warship could destroy the whole Chinese Marine Force.
So, what have you brought me, my dear friends? Budget, deficit, or war in India?
Your Majesty, I'm inviting you to cut the ribbon for a new railway.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'll do it.
By the way, there is something important that Palmerston has to report to you.
In China, Your Majesty, Lin Zezhu has destroyed £8 million worth of our goods and is driving all the British residents out of Guangzhou.
Well, what shall we do then?
We're looking forward to your instructions.
But I hear you're already assembling marine forces.
Sample of a new stamp to be released shortly. What do you think?
She looks prettier, doesn't she?
Your Majesty, the world is never short of beautiful women. There is only one British Queen.
Thank you for your honesty, Melbourne.
The stamp will be distributed to every country in the British Empire. My dear, where there is sunshine, there is your image.
And in China, too?
Your Majesty, the Cabinet is looking forward to your support for the motion to send the army to China. and for parliamentary support of military appropriations.
Now tell me, what kind of a man Lin Zexu is?
Well, he's strong-willed, unrefined, loyal to his emperor, liable to go to extremes. I confess that our knowledge of that 1,000-year-old empire is somewhat limited.
I wish I could see him in Madame Tussauds museum. If I were in Lin Zexu's position, I would also burn all the opium. But now it's not the opium issue, nor the issue of the lives and properties of a few merchants. It's not even a matter of the dignity of our British flag and royalty. If all nations follow China's example and reject free trade, the British Empire will no longer exist within a year. This is the reason for us to use force. We must teach them a lesson on free trade. Gentlemen, Britain has the responsibility to open up this last and largest territory in the East. I hope you won't tell me one day that this has been done by other countries. The fact is, whoever gets hold of China will have the entire East. The 19th century.
英国人既不肯降，又不肯退，他们死守在海上，到底是要干什么呢？这定是等待英王命令吧。英国人以商为本，战端一开，必然中断贸易，对他们有什么好处？这个道理颠地不懂，英国国王应该清楚。
The honourable member for Richmond upon Thames. There are 400 million people living in China. If that many people lived in Europe, they would have separated into hundreds of countries years ago. But the Chinese have always been ruled by one emperor and spoken one language. Is this not formidable? For 5,000 years, do you not think that we should be making trade with these people and not war?
They have banned the trade.
They have treated the British Empire badly. They really should be punished.
Order! Order! The honourable member for Hampstead and Highgate.
There's one thing I'd like to call your attention to. Britain has the most advanced industry in the world. And China has the biggest market. If every Chinese were to lengthen the lower hem of his shirt by 1 inch, all the British factories would be kept in business for 30 years.
Order! The Father of the House, Sir Alexander Matheson.
Mr. Speaker. Gentlemen. I know two strange names, Confucius and Zhuangzi. They lived in China over 2,000 years ago, before Aristotle and Socrates. And their thoughts are even more profound than those of Socrates and Aristotle. In all probability, Mr. Speaker, it will take us generations to understand the profundity of their thought. and to understand China. It is a country with a huge wall, thousands of miles long in the north, and a great canal of thousands of miles in the south. Mr. Speaker, it was a great nation. But even in sleep, they are unpredictable. Yes, we may be able to defeat them, but we can never conquer them. I have one ambition left for my life. It is to visit China. But I would rather swim the Atlantic than sail down in a battleship.
I'll talk to you later. Talk to you later. You sure you're ready? Tell you the truth. The objection is so strong the motion will probably be rejected. I'm afraid.
Gentlemen, I come before you to present the plight of a group of defenseless British subjects blockaded in an attempt to starve them into submission, made to surrender their property in trade, which was then destroyed, who were then driven from their quarters in Guangzhou to be confined aboard our ships at sea without food, without water, without medicine, there to float under the pestilent heat of the sun. Before I set out on my journey to England, I was obliged to take leave of my daughter, who, being sick, was unable to travel with me. I may never see her alive again. And yet, our glorious Union Jack still flaps high on our mast. Gentlemen, your countrymen and your sovereign have been grievously wronged. They look to you for reparation. To that end, your representative in China, Captain Charles Elliot, gave me letters which I have delivered to the Prime Minister. There are also gifts to be delivered to the house. This is a piece of Chinese bronzeware made over 2,000 years ago. It is adorned with figures of sacred spirits, representing their highest ideals. Bronze was the strongest metal then known to the world. Ever since that time, the Chinese have called themselves the Han. This vase is carved from a single piece of jade. It dates from the Tang dynasty, the golden age of China. Not only was this the most prosperous period in the history of China, but also the most civilized people, the most cultured in the world. This is a work of art from the China of today.
like the great Qing dynasty it represents. It appears sumptuously rich, plump, and proud. It looks down on all around it, including the bronze and the jade. And yet it is filled with nothing but self-importance. One touch, and it will shatter to pieces. This is the China I offer you.
Mr. Elliot, I'd like to remind you that our food stocks are running low. We can't feed on cannon powder now, can we? As captain of the ship, I need to know your intentions.
Wait.
Wait! Wait for what? For death?
Into thy hands, O Lord, we commend the soul of this thy son.
Therefore, commit the body of this our dearly departed brother to the deep. May the Lord have mercy on his soul. Amen. Charles, for heaven's sakes, let's weigh anchor and go home. Or we'll have many more dead.
Told you before, you can go back to your church in Macau.
Oh, no. I'm needed here. You're leading these people to death.
Her Majesty's government will not let them die in vain.
Yes, and that's what you want, isn't it? Not rescue, but a cause for war. That's what you wanted since the day you came here. You're the devil! Jesus, you knew? Our warships are coming! Our warships are coming! We're safe! We're safe!
禀林大人，英舰连枪而来，已至虎门，并封锁了珠江海口。
来，我们先下完这盘棋。
Mary.
You're going to have to forgive me, Mary. Soon we'll have our reward.
Tell you, Captain Braemar, I know these waters like the back of my hand. If we attack now, we can take Guangzhou by night.
How well do you know Lindsay's shoe, Mr. Elliot? resistance here in Guangzhou of the great Qing is Peking. Let's settle our account with their emperor. That will affect the great sphere.
He's a tricky customer to deal with, Lin Zexu. Strange, isn't it? I've never met my old adversary face to face.
二位大人，贼船见我严阵以待，不战而逃。
哦，那洋人可是退至远海？
卑职见他们进行北上。
少牧，哎呀，这下去。
洋人并非退逃，一定是北上进军。
速派战船追杀，或许能够拖住敌舰。
洋人船坚炮利，航速极快。600里快骑，火速禀报皇上，并通报沿途各地。
这，
其实我是宁愿意在广州与洋人决一死战。
我们不准备攻占定海，但要借用这个爱的岛为舰队补充给养和淡水，我们会付钱。
If you don't agree, we'll wipe you out.
如果你们抵抗，我们就消灭你们。
Yes or no?
请快回答是还是不是 ？They're always like this. This is so typically Chinese. They never say yes and they never say no.
Stand by. Open fire.
Fire! Fire! Let's go! 别点！别点！ Fire!
You feel like talking now?
这下你该开口了。
从来没见过这么大的船，
Never seen ships so great.
也没见过这么狠的炮。
Cannons so powerful.
但是我必须抵抗。
But he feels he must resist.
大清官兵有死不降。
The officials and soldiers of the Great Qing would rather die than surrender.